Wall Street, the closing bell, a major sell-off, closing out a rocky month. Too bad it is a leap year day. The Dow diving triple digits this Friday. Hello, everyone. I'm Terry Keenan in for Neil Cavuto, and this is Your World. To Fox Business Network's Cheryl Casoni on what's behind today's 300-point sell-off. Cheryl.
For the Dow, selling actually escalating in the afternoon. We've seen a lot of these Friday sell-offs over the last few months. It's really a lot of nerves. Today it was several factors. We had some heavy economic data this morning. Oil prices at one point above $103 a barrel. We had lackluster earnings from Dell Computer, downright ugly numbers from AIG. You know, Wall Street has been betting they get a half-point cut from the Fed next month. After today, the odds of a 0.75% cut on March 18th. They're sitting at 60%. That's a high. But I want to get back to that consumer data here for just a second. It was the final reading from the University of Michigan and Reuters. And although it was actually better than expected, it was well off that January reading. Now, it's good to remember stocks had 3 straight days of gains earlier this week, but worries about an economic slowdown, constant speculation about a recession, just had traders down in the dumps. What can I say, Terry?
It's certainly a tough Friday. Thank you, Cheryl. Appreciate it. Cheryl Casoni. Well, our stock's down big today because of constant bashing today.
It's harder to save. It's harder to retire.
We have an economy that is increasingly in trouble.
People are having a tough time.
How hard is it to get up in the morning
People are working harder just to get by.
and feel like you're just not getting ahead?
Well, is the constant bashing of our economy by Senators Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama actually driving us closer into a recession? Or Tracy Burns says yes. Peter Schiff disagrees. Tracy, I mean, these candidates didn't even figure out what was going on with the economy a few months ago. Now they seem to have all the solutions.
Right. Everybody's an economics professor now. You know what? I will be the first to admit things are not good. But this constant barrage is really just a play to get a seat at the in the Oval Office. I mean, quite frankly, the Democrats would be better off if we fall into recession, because that just proves that the incumbent is bad, needs to get out, and they need the voice of change. And one of them thinks that they are the voice of change. So to them, recession would actually be a good thing.
Well, they may be taking us there, Peter. You, though, you disagree.
Well, I mean, I do agree that I think either Hillary or Obama would make the situation worse, not better. But the situation is actually far worse than even they understand. And the market would be going down even if the election were yesterday and the Republicans won in a landslide. There are serious fundamental structural problems with our economy that need to be addressed. The markets are overvalued. We're in a bear market. Look at the new high today in the Swiss franc. The dollar got crushed against the yen, even though the Dow was down 300 points. If you look at what's happening in real terms, adjusted for inflation, U.S. assets are losing a lot of value, and they're going to lose a lot more.
Yeah, but Tracy, what worries me is the solutions of these two candidates in particular, and they're stark when it comes to free trade. Both Senators Clinton and Obama want to rejigger NAFTA, which has actually helped our economy. Exports are the only part of our economy that's actually growing right now.
And what they're missing is that free trade, open global markets have actually created jobs for us here in the state. You know, the ability to get cheap technology and better things from overseas has helped us here. Closing the doors and putting a fence around the United States is just loony. And I think that's what people are missing. You know, when they go out and these candidates, they seem to just touch your hearts, and the way they're saying things is just so provocative, and they love it. And then when you start to read what these people are actually saying, it's crazy.
Yeah, is there a chance that some of this could backfire, Peter, on the candidates? I mean, the economy, is not going gangbusters, that's for sure. But all this doom and gloom, could it backfire and end up helping McCain?
I doubt it. I think the economy is going to be in much worse shape come Election Day. I think
so
gas prices. So I think it's going to help whoever the Republican nominee is, most likely Obama. But it is going to backfire during their administration. I don't think the Democrats are going to stay in office 4 years from now. I think they're going to have to be voted out in disgrace, because it's going to be Jimmy Carter, only a lot worse.
Yeah, but you know what, Terry? If we were not in an election year, we would just be calling this part of your typical business cycle. Yes, we're in a bear market. Yes, things are not good. But because it's an election year, and because, again, someone's vying for that seat at the Oval Office, they are just bringing Armageddon
Tracy,
on, and I think they're scaring people.
It might be a business cycle, but this is anything but typical. This is going to be the biggest downturn we've ever experienced.
Ever? I mean,
Well, any of us.
Those
I mean,
are fighting words.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't been alive that long, but I mean, I'm not. If you have to go back to the Depression to find something that might be, in the ballpark, but it's not going to be like a recession that we had in the early '90s or even the early '80s. It's going to be worse.
But we've had, Peter, though, we've had plenty of elections take place during recessionary years. 1992 is the first one to come to mind. 2000, some people said we were already in a recession. There was a change in power, but
Sure,
the economy went on.
No, but we're having a much more substantial recession. We're paying for years of excess consumption, excess borrowing. Our whole bubble economy has burst, and there's a lot of air to come out of it. We have to, go
Peter,
back.
I just don't understand sometimes why you live in the United States, because you're so down on it. I think that there's a little bit of a disconnect between what's going on in the financials in the housing that market is clearly in trouble. The rest of corporate America, there's still cash on the balance sheets. People are still working. Things are not fabulous by any stretch. But there's no way people need to go sell their homes and move into their cars because Armageddon is coming.
Who's telling people to move into their cars? I mean, it's I was telling people to sell their homes years ago. Now it's too difficult. But if you can sell your home and rent one instead, there's nothing wrong with that. But there's no reason to move into your car.
All right. No, it's certainly not with the unemployment rate at just 5%. Thanks to you both, Peter Schiff and Tracy Burns.